The trees are at peak color here in the Granite State to match the intensity of the U.S. Senate race here, now in a virtual tie between incumbent Democrat Maggie Hassan and two-time Purple Heart recipient General Don Bolduc. On this morning, we met him in Manchester at what was supposed to be a radio debate. Why do I get the impression that this is not the first time that the senator hasn't shown up for a debate for you?
Well, because it's true. She hasn't shown up to a debate with us on several occasions, but I do want to welcome her today to this event. After you, Senator, I have to go down there and take a different approach on these issues. And I will, as I did in the military. Senator Sheen and I can disagree on social issues all day long. But we got to come together on these three issues: economy, spending, and security.
Then it was off to the airport diner to shake hands and answer more questions.
They write you off at their peril, right? And I've always worked hard. You don't go from private to general without working hard, right? And I'm working hard now, and certainly way harder than her, and I'm doing it the right way.
A tour and employee town hall at BAE Systems in Nashua was followed by interviews at the New Hampshire Institute of Politics, where he was joined by his wife Sharon, also an Army veteran. From what I hear from people, that you have been the rock.
That's very complimentary. A schedule's difficult, I'm not going to lie. I mean, nothing compares to having Don deployed overseas and not knowing if he's coming home. We're doing something we enjoy, and I mean, I'm supporting Don. I get to hang out with him every day, so I like that.
I asked him how that helped form his outlook and his values.
The way I try to tell people about that is I believe farmers are public servants. I would deliver milk with my grandfather. We go up there, and he knocks on the door, and the lady of the house comes to the door, and she says, "Hey, Charlie, we can't afford the milk today. This week," right? And he goes, "Not a problem. Send your son by to work on the farm this weekend and your milk will be paid for." Giving back to the community, and you know, my grandfather and my dad taught us is a responsibility.
How do we get back to that point where people want to be in the military, where they want to serve the country, as you did?
You know, when I grew up, the motto of the Army was be all you can be. But I think it starts right at home, it starts right in our communities, and it starts in schools. The military right now has gone so woke. CRT, transgender training, you know, all these things that are leading away from its readiness and undermining its core, you know, ability, even its own value system and principles, right? And that is why the morale is low today. That is why people don't want to come in. The military is now dropping the standard of recruitment for GEDs and high school diplomas. Well, when I first came in the Army, they were establishing that standard. And that standard has resulted in a high quality military.
You did 10 deployments, 2 Purple Hearts, 5 Bronze Stars, and the Legion of Merit. Democrats in this campaign have decided to take issue with and to criticize your military record as part of this campaign. How hard was that to hear?
I get letters and texts and, you know, various things all the time. But it's an unfortunate part of politics.
You've been very public and very open, to your credit, about PTS and traumatic brain injury.
We put together this program, and it was highly successful, but it took leadership. It took me to say, I have post-traumatic stress and TBI, because the military program stigmatizes people. It's a leadership issue. You have the programs, you have the money. That's not the issue. The issue is the approach, and they got it wrong.
That evening, a town hall with a focus on education in a packed sports bar in Londonderry.
We're gonna win, baby! Ben Franklin said it. What kind of government do we have? A republic. If you can keep it, right? They locked us down. They closed our businesses. They closed our churches. They masked our children. They closed our schools. They hurt us. And that's right. Never again. Join me in that. Never again. We will take that $80 billion and give it to the Give it to the Border Patrol so they can hire people and equipment to secure all our borders. We are making a choice between heating and eating. I have sat with moms and dads with tears in their eyes, holding their hands, wondering how they're going to put food on the table. We're optimistic because there's this inherent belief that we have in America's values and principles and our Declaration of Independence and our God-given rights. I mean, if you believe in that, you can only have hope. And then if you act accordingly, then you can have the faith you need in order to be able to persevere.
With the polls razor close, after 2 years on the campaign trail, the grizzled veteran turned happy warrior just might have even more reason to smile come November 8th.
God bless you. God bless America.